In recent years, income inequality and its causes have garnered interest both in the academy and within the mainstream social discourse. Income disparities between those at the bottom of the income distribution and at the top are at their highest levels in nearly a century, and the disparities are increasing. In most developed nations, this trend began in the 1970s after a global golden age in terms of income inequality. By the end of the 70s, quite possibly driven by the economic downturn, new mostly conservative governments were elected across Western Europe and the United States. The most prominent figures of this shift were Ronald Reagan and Maggie Thatcher. Together in their respective policies, the head of the two most powerful nations in post-war Europe and the US promoted a neoliberal ideology. Their policies included curbing union power, deregulating industry, and opening up markets. Across Europe, classical liberal parties also came to power, replacing many left-of-center governments. The ascension of these powers differed per country, but their policies were often similar to Reagan's and Thatcher's in their goals. The trend of increasing income inequality continued throughout the 1980s. The causes of this trend have been rigorously studied. Scholars point to union strength and density, vocational education and training, as well as globalization as the major factors contributing to rates of income inequality. These characteristics are subsumed under a theory of varieties of capitalism proposed by Peter Hall and David Soskice. They classify developed economies by the levels of coordination between the government and business. Scholars have compared economies' levels of income inequality within this framework. Even still, we see differences in rates of increasing income inequality across countries similar on many of the common causes. This leads to my question. Simply put, why? Why in a time of rampant increases in income inequality do we see differences across countries in the rate of increase? Studies have shown that electoral systems with proportional representation correlate with lower levels of income inequality. Furthermore, PR systems tend to have more political parties represented in government. Since cultural and economic analysis have been done on this question, I will focus on the role parties in power play in rates of increasing income inequality, both in mediating between the common factors as well as in their policy choices directly concerning taxes and transfers. In order to see the specific effects on income inequality across developed European nations, I plan on comparing parties in Ireland, Finland, and Germany. Using the Comparative Manifestos project, I plan on analyzing party programs for the parties in government between 1970 and 2000 in order to learn about their stances on the issues surrounding disposable income inequality prior to being elected. In order to learn about their effects while in government, I plan on looking at the role different parties play in expanding or dismantling their country's welfare state. Using a historical analysis of party strength that is both the numbers of votes cast for them as well as their representation in government, I hope to answer these questions as well as explore the effects of different party ideology on the increasing rates of post-tax and transfer income.